Now, the moment, ladies, you've been waiting for. We're adding a bit of sparkle to the show this morning because I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Sir Cliff Richard. Good morning.
Hi.
Welcome to Sunday Style.
Thank you.
Now, you're busy at the moment, aren't you?
Well, yes, it's been a pretty busy time since I got back from my holiday, which was middle of September.
Because you've got a single out on Monday, haven't you?
Yes, it'll be the second one from the album, and it's, to me, it's the most popular. No, that's not the right thing to say yet, but it's the most commercial-sounding pop single, and it was written by Barry Gibb for me. And of course, Barry Gibb, he knows about pop singles, doesn't he? He and his son Ashley wrote it for me.
And it's called I Cannot Give You My Love.
Yes.
Well, let's have a look at you in action. I mean, it's a great ballad. Do you prefer ballads?
Oh, it's not a matter of preference. I mean, if you get a good rock song, it's just wonderful to have one of those. And I mean, I've sung some beautiful ballads. Miss You Nights is probably one of the most famous of them. It's like singing honey. The thing about Barry's song is, although it's a ballad, it has this kind of rolling, insidious sort of sound and a very clean snare drum. So it was very nice to sing on top of that, because what I felt was, when I did it, that he'd left so much space for the voice. A lot of producers are like that. Well, perhaps not enough.
Now, your album, Something's Going On, you recorded it all in Nashville. Why did you decide to do that?
I really decided, first of all, to leave England. I thought, I've got to get away and do something different. And Nashville, of course, there's always something happening in Nashville anyway. And I met new writers, new producers. It was just fantastic. And they pushed me and pulled me in directions I either hadn't been for a long time or I'd never been before at all.
Now, 6 decades of making music and having hits. How many albums have you sold to date?
Well, in terms of units, record-wise,
Yeah.
I've sold in excess of 250 million.
That is amazing.
I know.
And having hits in 2004.
Well, I mean, that's again, when I started in 1958, there was no way that I could possibly foresee that I would still have a career after all these years. And not only that, even if I figured out that I might have a career, how could I have dreamt that I'd still be having success? And I'm not quite sure what the answer is. If anybody asks me, how did you do that? I don't know. Maybe it's we don't trust our instincts enough. And where in pop music there's a necessity is in the area of instinct. You need to have an instinct, and you use your own instinct saying, I'd like to record this song. You know, Barry Gibb sends me a song. I could have thought, I don't like this, send it back. I'd have lost a really good song. Instead, my goosebumps told me, I like this song, I'll do it. Then you have to put it out, fingers crossed, eyes crossed, everything crossed, that there's enough people out there who would feel the same way about that song as you do. And you know what human beings are like. It's like when you receive a letter of complaint from one person, you know there's a couple of thousand others that feel like that but haven't said anything. Same way, I think if one person has an instinct about a song, it's not surprising that a lot of other people turn out to have the same feeling for that song. And that's what it is. You get a piece of the pie, but it's usually a large minority group, and it sustains your career. And that's what's happened to me, I guess, over the years.
We look at the artists of today, and the press could be quite aggressive and everything. Years ago, they weren't quite like that, but you didn't go off the rails, but you had this enormous pressure on you from a young age, didn't you?
Yeah, there is a pressure there. I think it's basically how you deal with it. What everybody should ask themselves when they've made it, when they've had their first 2 or 3 hits, and they're getting this celebrity status, and demands are being made of them, what they, I suppose, have to do is stop and say, why did I do this? Did I want to be recognized? Did I want fame? The answer is yes. So if you did, deal with it.
You must get recognised everywhere, though. You're the most recognised man in the UK.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Robbie Williams gets recognised everywhere too. But the thing is, when they recognise you in a restaurant, and then they don't come over until after you've eaten, and when you've signed in the bill or finished signing the bill, they come up, you feel so fantastically, what's the word, respected.
Yes.
You think, oh, terrific, thank you so much for waiting to do that. And suddenly your attitude changes. But sometimes you do have to just grit your teeth and grin and bear it. I mean, it doesn't take that long. And I have to say, I don't always succeed at it. Sometimes I do get a bit annoyed, but I don't shout or scream it. And yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to, yeah, we are. We
are all human.
Yes.
So, Cliff Richard, thank you. I'm going to ask you to stay with us this morning, because I want to talk to you about some of your interests outside of the music industry.
Okay.
But first, let's catch up with PR guru Lynn Franks.